For the second straight offseason, the BYU football program has been rocked by allegations of sexual assault. This time, BYU wide receiver Parker Kingston arrested on suspicion of felony rape.
You are Locked On Cougars, your daily podcast on the BYU Cougars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Cougars, your daily podcast focused on the BYU Cougars. I'm Jake Hatch, your host here, and we are about to discuss a situation involving a legal matter that involves allegations of sexual assault. So getting that out of the way right up front for those of you who may be sensitive to such topics, as we don't want to unnecessarily cause any type of undue stress. But BYU wide receiver Parker Kingston has been arrested and is being held without bail, according to a press release from the Washington County, Utah District Attorney's Office. This stemming from an incident allegedly that took place on February 23rd of 2025, so going back almost a year now, in which he has been alleged to have raped a 20-year-old woman, and he is now being held on felony charges for that alleged incident. Now, this is a horrific situation, and let me be very clear that our thoughts and prayers go out to the alleged victim in this circumstance, because these are situations that are horrendous. They're awful, they're heartbreaking, and when it involves BYU, we take the good with the bad in all of this, and Parker Kingston now will have to face up to some pretty serious charges. According to the press release from Washington County's DA, he is being held without bail. He is being charged on suspicion of felony rape. These are serious allegations. It's the second straight offseason that the BYU football program has been rocked with allegations of this variety. If you go back to last year, I believe it was in late April, early May. I think it was actually May, now that I think about it. BYU quarterback Jake Retzlaff was hit with a civil lawsuit detailing allegations of sexual assault stemming from an incident back in 2023. This incident, stemming back almost a year now, obviously is of a horrific variety, and Parker Kingston will obviously have to face up to these charges. This honestly, coming out of left field, for any of you who may wonder, would you have any awareness of this, Jake? No, I did not. And I'm not a guy who is trolling through all of the different court system databases to try and find information of this variety. It rocked my world about as much as it probably rocked yours as you were learning about this in real time. It's heartbreaking. It's sad. The allegations, obviously, very, very serious, but we also have to let the court system play out here, because this one, as compared to the Jake Retzlaff situation last year, a civil lawsuit is completely different than a legal situation that we have on our hands here. This is involving police. This is involving the legal system. This will involve court hearings and the like, and Parker Kingston will have to, as I mentioned, to answer for what he is alleged to have perpetrated here. And this is not a good look for anybody. I mean, anybody, when it comes to a situation of this variety. And I'm trying to be about as sensitive as I can be and play it right down the middle here. Understand that there are two sides to every story. The American legal system, obviously, they don't arrest people and charge them just because. This obviously has been pending for almost a year. It was obviously thoroughly handled by St. George Police. They said the St. George Police Department gathered digital and forensic evidence before turning the case over to Washington County's district attorney, that office, for review of potential charges. As the statement says, Kingston has been taken into custody, is currently being held without bail. And BYU, when I reached out to them, did issue this statement, quote, BYU became aware of the arrest of Parker Kingston. The university takes any allegation very seriously and will cooperate with law enforcement. Due to federal and university privacy laws and practices for students, the university will not be able to provide additional comment, unquote. That is almost verbatim to what happened a year ago involving Jake Retzlaff. Jake Retzlaff's deal was more about a money issue, because when you sue civilly, that is more of what you are chasing. There are no criminal charges to be answered to in a civil lawsuit, whereas this one involving Parker Kingston, very, very serious charges being levied against him, because this obviously could involve prison time. It's heartbreaking. It really is, because you think about all of the different things that go into this situation. And it involves a victim. It involves a standout BYU football player. It involves a university, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints sponsors, and Brigham Young University. There are no winners in these situations. I'm sorry. I refuse to ever fall down on one side and say it's one way or the other, because there are no winners in this. It is horrific. Like I said, it's awful. It's heartbreaking. It's sad. And the honest to goodness hope I have coming out of this is that the victim obviously can move on with their life, and should other situations arise, that BYU handles them the right way. Because this, like I said, this is not something that I don't think anybody involved in the BYU football program wants to talk about. This is a football program that is coming off two of its greatest seasons ever, but for the second straight offseason is going to have to deal with the media circus surrounding this, because the wheels of justice, they do turn, but they turn in their own due time. And this could take weeks, months, who knows how long for this to play out. There will be court hearings. There will be evidence presented. There will obviously be a chance for Parker and his legal team to respond to the allegations and obviously have their say in all of this. Understand that this is just the beginning of what could be a very, very long process. And I am not going to begin to try to speculate on what it means for Parker Kingston going into what was expected to be his senior season at BYU this fall. Is he going to be cleared to play? There will be obviously questions about why BYU allowed him to play if this was an incident stemming back over a year, going back to last offseason. Was BYU aware of it in that circumstance? Was Kalani Sitake and his staff? There are so many unanswered questions here, and I'm trying to reiterate the point that do not try and come down too hard on one side or the other of this situation, because there is a lot of information that will continue to come out on this front. But once again, there are no winners in this situation. It's horrific for a guy like Parker Kingston, who at the basketball game this past Saturday night against Houston was on the Jumbotron revealing that he was engaged to his girlfriend. He posted on social media not that long after that about him proposing to his girlfriend. That obviously adds a layer to the situation, because he was being cheered obviously by Cougar fans, as he has been a standout, phenomenal football player for the BYU football program for a number of years. And now it's all mired in controversy. So horrific, sad, and we'll see where this ultimately ends up. Will charges be modified? Will they be dropped? Will he serve prison time? Should he be convicted? There is, like I said, a lot still to be unpacked on all of this. And we will do our best to pass along information as it comes. But yet again, another offseason marred by major controversy for Kalani Sitake and company. Obviously, like I said, our thoughts and prayers go out to the victim, the alleged victim in this circumstance. And our thoughts and prayers go out to Parker Kingston as he now faces up to some pretty heavy legal charges that are being filed against him and levied against him. Obviously, I'm sure that there will be many allegations in the court of public opinion levied. Let's let it all play out and let the facts speak for themselves. That's my plea to you. I understand that it may be foolhardy of me to request that, but it is still a situation that is brand new. There's going to be a lot still to come on this front, and obviously it will be dominating headlines for the foreseeable future for BYU, for Parker Kingston, and the alleged victim in this circumstance. So wanted to get with you guys and pass along what the situation was, but like I said, we will have this covered for you guys as we always do. We endured it last offseason with Jake Retzlaff. It played out over a number of months, and this one appears it'll be a similar type circumstances. BYU gets ready now for their season upcoming somewhere around 200 plus days from now. Spring ball is not that far off, but we will obviously have everything covered top to bottom, as we often do. Well, not often, as we always do, right here on your original daily podcast focused on all things BYU. Thank you for being with us, and we will have more again soon. And thank you for being here on Locked On Cougars.